My automatic golf method is just that. It's a specific method that not only enables you, but will cause you to hit the ball solidly and accurately, time after time, without having to think your way through your swing. By watching this program, you'll discover that wrist cock, weight shift, proper swing plane, delayed hit, these are all merely effects. They're not causes. And as you adopt my method, all of the swing features you've been striving for will happen time after time, and they'll happen automatically. Now, the rules of golf say that you can have 14 clubs, and you can have any selection that you want. And clubs are basically divided into three categories. We've got woods, irons, and a putter. Now, back when I did the original automatic golf, woods were made out of wood. And this is the wood I used in the original automatic golf video. Now we're making woods largely out of steel, but they're still called woods. And actually, I endorse this method. They're very uniform. The manufacturing process is so exact that we can get the specifications that we want. And when I design a driver for a golfer, perhaps for you, it'll be precisely what we want with one of these steel heads. And this is what I use today. Now, the mixture of clubs in your selection of 14, that's up to you. I carry 3 woods, 10 irons, and a putter. There's 2 factors that determine how far a golf club will strike a golf ball. One is the loft. The second is the shaft length. The driver is designed to drive that ball further than any other golf club. 250 yards or better. The reason is longest shaft, least amount of loft. The 3 wood is not quite as long as the driver, and it has a little more loft, as we can clearly see from these illustrations. So the 3 wood will drive the ball a little less far, perhaps for the average player about 210 yards. Iron clubs are designed more with accuracy in mind than distance. But the lower number on the iron club, the longer the shaft and the less degree of loft. So as we look at this 4 iron, it has a little more loft than the 3 wood, but it has a shorter shaft, so we'll hit the ball further than a short iron like the 7 or 8, but not as far as the 3 wood. The 7 iron has more loft than the 4 iron and is shorter, so it won't drive the ball as far. An advanced player will hit the ball about 150 yards with the 7 iron. But if you're hitting a 7 iron 165 yards or only 135 yards, don't be concerned. These distances are arbitrary. A lot of things come into play. The pitching wedge has more loft than the 7 iron. It also has a shorter shaft. The maximum distance for a pitching wedge for a good player is about 110 yards under normal conditions. Now, the pitching wedge has an additional function, and that's to play shots that are even somewhat shorter than that 110-yard maximum objective. What I've done to demonstrate the importance of the club shaft length and the leverage it provides is built a little mini 6 iron. Now, these 2 club heads are virtually identical. They have the same loft, and they'll drive the ball the same distance if they are driven by a lever of the same length. What you're going to learn is you're going to learn a method that actually nearly doubles the amount of leverage that you have when you hit a golf ball. Because if we connect ourselves properly to this golf club through the proper automatic golf grip, what we do is we have a lever that is the combined length of this shaft and the left arm. Now let's take a look at this. If I move this entire lever, it's bound to be more powerful. It's just bound to be more powerful than if we do something like this. The Bob Mann golfer's philosophy for peace of mind. Use minimum leverage in your financial dealings and maximum leverage in your golf swing. When we set up properly before that swing begins, we have a long lever that leads all the way from that left shoulder down through the left arm and down through that club head. And if we maintain that lever throughout the swing, we're going to have maximum power and accuracy. Notice as the backswing has begun that we have maintained that long lever. No flopping of the wrists, a great extension from that left shoulder right down through the club head. Also notice the close-up of the club head, that we have kept that club on the ball. In other words, if we returned back to the starting position, we wouldn't have to switch or swivel our wrist to be in the same relationship between club head and club ball as when we started. At first glance, this looks very much like the last scene, but there's a big difference. Although the golfer has maintained the long lever of the left arm and the club shaft, what he has done is swivel that club open. Now that means that if he were to return the club without swiveling it closed as he returned, he'd hit the ball dead right. Now there's a lot of good players on the PGA Tour that open the club or swivel the club as they go back, just as this golfer's doing. And some of these golfers can hit that ball an awful long way. And a lot of them win tournaments. But they win a tournament this week and they finish in 75th place next week. Because this kind of golf swing, although it can be quite powerful, because it does have a long lever, is simply not reliable. This golfer looks somewhat different than the other two golfers. Oh, his knickers are the same color, but if you noticed, he's broken his wrists on the backswing. Now what that means is that the length of the lever is no longer the left arm and the shaft combined, but merely the length of the golf shaft. Is there any upside? No, because it's certainly less powerful. It's also less accurate, because now when the golfer returns the club to the ball, he has to retime with an uncocking action, the cocking that he's just done. Now, if all of that did anything, there might be a reason for doing it. But all it does is gives us less power and less accuracy. So if you want to hit weak, crooked shots, folks, this is exactly the method to do it with. So if you're looking for a powerful, accurate, repeating, dynamic golf swing, follow the method I'm about to teach you, and that's what you'll have. Let's examine this issue of hand action and its function in a golf swing close up using this dough and this cookie cutter. If what I want to do is crank out a bunch of neat, precise, accurate cookies, all I'm going to do is take this cookie cutter, hold on to this Jesse, and go boop, 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 boop. They're all going to be perfect. Now there's absolutely no reason that I would take this thing and yank my wrist or swivel it or open it and close it. If I do that, I'm not going to get neat cookies. It's the same with a golf swing. If I take this thing and hold this club steady right through the shot, I'm going to get a bunch of neat, precise, solid, accurate shots. But if I begin to do all this stuff, folks, it can't be reliable. What I'm going to do is get a mess. It's going to be out there in the fairway occasionally. It's going to be out there on the green rarely. Now, some of you folks are very religious, and you're going to pray to the God of golf up there in the sky and say, let Bob be wrong. Because I can tell you, God, that there was one time about 3 weeks ago when I did all this stuff, and I just nailed that 4-iron right at the hole. So if I did it once, why can't I do it again? Folks, what my method is about is not hitting a good 4-iron 3 weeks ago and then hitting a spoon shot that you like 3 months from now. It's about giving you a reliable, repeatable, dynamic, accurate swing that'll work time after time after time after time. You know, the greatest player in the world doesn't go out there and hit a solid every time. But the great players can go out and find that pellet and they can play the next shot. So not only are you going to have the longer lever, greater distance, but if you make those hands nice and quiet using the method we're about to learn, a lot more accuracy too. So where are we so far, folks? We've determined that if we have a long lever, we're going to have greater power. And that long lever with the quiet hands is going to give us greater accuracy. But how much power? And how do we increase that power and accuracy? And where does that power come from? If we set that club up like this, have the good relationship between club hand, left arm, and just simply set the right arm there, and we keep this thing in a fixed relationship with the line of flight, what we've got is a swing that looks like this. That doesn't look too good, does it? It'd probably be real accurate, but it certainly wouldn't generate any power. So where does the power come from in a golf swing? A lot of people think that that power comes from breaking the wrists, or what's known as cocking the wrists on the backswing, and then uncocking them on the downswing. And I propose to you that that's not where the power comes from at all. Because in the first place, if we cock and uncock, we're using a short lever. But more than that, where the power comes from in a golf swing is from a pulling action of the left side. In other words, we are pulling that club through. We're holding that club back and releasing it and pulling it through with the left side. Folks, here's a little device I've developed. Don't plan to sell a bunch of them, but it does, I think, do a good job of show you how power is generated in a golf swing. If you'll pretend that both the shaft and this rubber band were both the shaft, and the head was this little pocket, and we get to the top of the backswing, as soon as I load the ball in here. Now we're up at the top of the backswing, and the left side begins to pull. And centrifugal force creates a delay. And if we can release this thing, well, folks, you get the idea. It springs out of there. Now, the way the average player tries to propel the golf ball, or the golf club to the golf ball, is they make this big, glorious, beautiful backswing. They load up all this energy, and they try to then force the club through. Now they've taken all the energy out. All this good energy, all this great energy that we've built in by having the hands quiet and leading with the left side disappears if we do this. So if the left side pulling the club produces the energy, it's totally apparent that if that's producing the energy, that any effort at all of shooting the right hand in there will reduce the energy to the exact degree in which it's involved. Inasmuch as the whole golf swing only lasts a second and a half, your knowing what happens during the course of the golf swing isn't going to do you any good. You don't have time to think about it anyway. But I'm going to show you how simple the golf swing is and what does happen during the course of the swing, so that you will have a strong incentive to learn the automatic golf method, so that your swing will be just as simple and reliable as my swing is. Now, we've done a lot of reading recently about left brain and right brain. The right brain is the creative side of the brain. It's the free-flowing side of the brain, and it controls the left side of the body. The left side of the brain, that's the calculating side, and controls the right side of the body. The automatic golf starting position puts you in touch with the right side of the brain and the left side of the body. The backswing starts as a response action to the forward press with the right foot. In other words, right foot first, and then left side of the body creates the backswing. In this scene, we see that although we are well into the backswing, the angle that we established originally between the club and the upper arms has been maintained. There's no cocking of the wrist. There's no swiveling of the club. We have simply moved that club and those arms back in one piece by utilizing the left side of the body. In this shot, we've nearly completed the backswing, and yet we have the very same relationship between the club and the arms that we did when the swing started. With this kind of simplicity, we can do nothing but hit that ball straight and solid, time after time. Now here I am at the top of the backswing, and I have the same relationship between the club and my arms that I did when the swing started. So what happened to the wrist cock? Folks, it's not there. The wrist cock will occur as I begin the downswing. But all of that stuff you heard about cocking your wrists on the backswing, that's hokum. Get rid of it. Have a true dynamic automatic golf swing by starting properly, using the left side of the body, and you'll be in this position and hit those shots just like bullets right towards that flagstick. As I start the downswing, we notice a couple of things. First of all, my wrists have cocked. Now this is not something that I did actively. This wrist cock has been created by the action of centrifugal force. And this centrifugal force has been created by the move of my left side towards that object. Now also notice that my chin is pointed well back to the right. This is the only thought that I keep during the execution of a golf swing. That is, unless I'm thinking about my girlfriend or something. But the bottom line is that if you start off properly, do the automatic golf method before the swing starts, and keep that chin pointed back to the right, you'll airmail that ball to the middle of the fairway and towards that hole time after time. As the downswing continues, notice the incredible contained energy in that golf shaft. If I were flipping this club through with my right hand, we wouldn't have that kind of lag delay, that kind of contained energy. My chin is pointed well back to the right, and I'm still pulling with the left side of my body. Even at impact, my chin is pointed well back to the right. The left side of the body completely dominates. We're generating terrific force because of the pulling action of the left side of the body and the contained energy in that shaft. In this after impact shot, we notice that my knees are flexed. Now that means that I can play this game for 100 years and never have any difficulty with my back. I'm taking the stresses out of my body by flexing my knees. So by flexing the knees, I've added power, utilized my legs properly to add power, and made my swing stress-free. Also notice that shin is well back long after impact. As I near the completion of the swing, notice that my right shoulder is finally bringing my head up long after that ball has been airmailed. Also notice the relationship between that shaft and my arms is the same as it was before we started this swing. And the great extension that I have, which has been permitted by the flexing of those knees and the free ballistic action of the upper body in the club. Wouldn't you just love to have a high finish like this? Well, if you do the automatic golf method, do the proper things before the swing starts, you will. Notice a couple other things about the finish. That there's been very little change between that club and my arms anywhere through the swing, including at the finish. My knees are flexed. There's no stress on my low back. And I have moved that weight so well over to the left side that I've actually rolled over on that left foot. A golf swing takes 1.5 seconds to complete. You can't think your way through the golf swing. Since I released the automatic golf video a number of years ago, people have called it the swing you don't have to think about. And that's very flattering to my teaching method. But think about it for you. If I can show you a method that you can get your body in position before that swing starts, so that the swing indeed is an automatic response action, boy, you got it. This game's gonna be fun for you, and you're gonna beat a lot of folks. Now, the automatic golf method has 3 objectives. First, we wanna connect you to the club through the grip, so that the club, the arm, and the hand maintain that relationship unchanged throughout the swing, that long, reliable, dynamic, powerful, and accurate lever. The second thing we want to do is get you in a position that puts the proper swinging muscles in command before you start the swing, so the swing's automatic. And third, we're going to give you a starter move. For your right-handed players, it'll be a move with the right foot, and that'll get the motion going with the lower body to produce that powerful swing that we want. Now, the way the method works is that we grip the club up in the air. I found that if you grip the club down here, it's not reliable. Your hands go on in different ways at different times. So for you right-handed players, take your club, hold it in your right hand above the grip. Now that's above the grip with the club upside down, below the grip with the club right side up. But at any rate, it's right here. Extend it out fully in front of you. Bring your left hand in front and bring your left hand over and down on that club. Again, form the left hand and bring it over and down on the club. And if you've done this properly, you can let go with the left thumb and the left forefinger, and you'll have a good hold of that club in the last 3 fingers of the left hand. So again, extend the club fully out in front of you, form the hand, bring the hand over and down, slide it in there, and get a hold of it with those last 3 fingers. Then just allow this thumb and this forefinger to rest on the shaft. Now your alignment check is that there are 2 tendons, and they're right here on top of the wrist, right here. And these 2 tendons have a space between them. And when you hold that club out in front of you, your eyes, that space, and this shaft, if we've got an alignment there, we're in perfect shape. Now the right hand goes on with a finger grip, and all we do is place the middle two pads of the middle two fingers of the right hand under the club, and we close these two fingers around the shaft, and we lightly, very lightly, allow the right hand to fit over top of the left thumb. So that's the way the grip looks to you as you're looking down at it. Now, we've formed an angle here. We've got a relationship between the club and our arms that's going to remain relatively unchanged throughout the entire swing. And once we've formed that angle, we don't want to lose it. So the second step of the automatic golf method is to simply lower the club from the shoulders. Now this is a critical point because the average golfer tends to do this. Lock the knees and lower this way from the waist. No, we lower the club from the shoulders. And once it's down to about this height, all we do, widen our stance to about shoulder width, and then we sit down. Just like there were one of those portable golf seats under us. We sit down. Now you notice I've maintained the angle. My knees are flexed. My weight is back on the heels. And finally, notice that the club is held off contact with the ground. I've noticed that when players lower the club and allow the club to touch the ground, what do? They re-grip and lose all that good connection with the club. So we keep the club off contact. Now the next step of the automatic golf method is we turn the chin to the right and we view that ball out of the left eye. And this opens up the entire backswing. Now our starter move is a very simple move with the right foot. We simply push with the right foot and that activates the feet to start the backswing. And that's all there is to the automatic golf method. Now I'm going to go through it once more silently. Let my camera folks here pick up some good close-ups for you guys at home. The complete automatic golf method, very simply done. If you can do those 5 or 6 little steps, you're going to have a wonderful golf swing. Hey, if you believe that PR coming out of England about them inventing this game 400 or 500 years ago, I got a bridge outside of New York I want to sell you. This game's been around for millions of years. We had golfers maybe 8, 12 million years ago. But those early golfers, you'd never see them trying to wimp that thing down the fairway with that right wrist. They knew if they were going to drive those heavy rocks down the middle of that old fairway, they had to use the whole body. It's the feet and legs that give the power in any athletic move. Modern baseball player wouldn't hit it this way. Lead with the hips, the feet and legs. And it's the same in golf. The left side, powered by the feet and legs. Now I'm going to show you a little exercise, and if you'll do this exercise just a few minutes every other day, you're going to have a heck of a golf swing fast. I call it the golf motor move, and let's take a look at that now. I've been talking about it all day, but this is powerful. This is the learning technique of, well, this film's going to be around in the year 2000s and the year 3000s, but right now we'll call it the learning technique of the 90s. The golf motor move, I've shown it to about a zillion players, and once you learn it, you're going to have something that you can do at home in just a few minutes every other day. It's going to teach you more about the golf swing than all the books, all the magazines, and yes, even all my videos put together. What we do is we connect ourselves to the club, left hand only. We lower the club, widen our stance to about shoulder width. Left hand only on the club, angle maintained. Turn the chin to the right, looking at, well, the would-be ball out of the left eye. And what we begin to do now is move the feet. Right foot, left foot. Right foot, left foot. And as we keep moving the feet, what we see is that the club responds to the move of the lower body. It's hips first, club second. Move those feet to move the hips, and the club responds. Do this a few times every day. It's a good workout, and folks, you'll have a golf swing. From this angle, we see all of the elements of the automatic golf method. My chin is pointed to the right till long after impact. My knees are flexed. My weight is back through my heels. All of this permits my legs to be very active and my hands to be quite quiet. You can accomplish this kind of swing if you spend just a few minutes a day truly practicing the automatic golf method. That means the proper grip, the proper starting position, and most importantly, practicing that automatic golf motor move on a regular basis. The next 15 days are going to pass anyway. You invest those 15 days, or at least a few minutes a day, practicing the motor move, and 2 weeks from now, you're going to have a heck of a golf swing. Linda, if we took your golf swing on Hee Haw, the ratings go right up in the comedy department.
I'm afraid they wouldn't go up. I'm afraid they'd go way down.
No. But we're going to work on it here, and you're a great natural athlete, as I know from having you as a member of my gym.
Thank you.
And we're going to take you through the automatic golf method step by step, right up to the preparatory, right up to hitting the ball.
Okay.
And what we're going to accomplish this session here together is hitting some very small shots out there.
That's the kind I hit, Bob.
Right. Okay. So working with me, take the club in your right hand, push it out way out in front of you, extend that arm, and establish an angle about right there. Bring your left hand and form it just like you're going to grip it, way up here by your right hand. And close the hand, just like you're getting ready to grip it.
Okay.
And in a formed position, slide it down and grab that club real securely with the last 3 fingers of the left hand.
Okay.
Okay, now if you've got it well with the last 3 fingers of the left hand, you can let go of the thumb and let go of the forefinger. Let's give it the acid test. Pretty good. Not too bad. Okay, now just rest the thumb there and rest the forefinger there. Bring the right hand under these fingers right here, way down in the fingers, and bring them right up against the bottom of that. Just these two, slide them down against there. And just allow that right hand to softly close over the left hand. There's a natural pocket of that fits right over the thumb. It's a natural pocket right there.
There's a little
now we keep that angle. Okay. Now somehow in this process we've got the club a little close, so let's get it square. Okay, now a little more angle. Now that's what we're going to maintain when we lower the club.
Okay.
So just kind of keep that, turn around now, and just give me this direction, and kind of keep this right here. Keep that right here. And with this angle maintained, what I want you to do is just lower the club from the shoulders. And now flex your knees just like you were kind of just going to sit down. What I want you to do is move that club with your right foot. Move that club towards my foot. Right there. And now move it with your left foot, move it back. And move it with your right foot and your left foot. But all the time, Linda, I want you to watch this ball. Keep your chin behind the ball, right? Okay? Now let the dance get bigger, right? Right. Don't move the club. The club's going to move in response to the feet. Just move those legs, and watch that ball. Right. There you go. Good. Okay, move the legs more, and the swing will get bigger. Okay, just do the dance more. Okay, right. Good. Okay, good. All right, fine. Okay, now stop it.
Are we going steady now?
All right. Now you lead me.
Hold your hand as if you're going to grip it,
Right.
And bring it down in a V shape.
That's correct.
Bring it
Making sure that blade is squared.
Right.
Make that blade squared.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty. Now check your alignment. You see this space between the two tendons? It's way over on the right there. We want to get it where your eyes, get your left arm extended. Okay, now look at that space and line it up. If you got your eyes, this space in the club. If we've got that, bring the right hand down, put those two fingers right down there. Open the hand, just go ahead and open it. Right there. And now just close the fingers and allow that hand to fit naturally over the left thumb.
And I hooked mine on, that's
Okay, the interlocking grip is fine. Just allow this to relax. Keep the thumb up on the left side of the shaft. Okay, now turn around. Keep this angle. Widen the stance to about shoulder width. Again, lower the club before we sit down. Now sit down, but keep the club off contact with the ground. Turn that chin back to the right so that you're watching this ball. And let's see that same little move. Right foot, now it starts with the right foot in the direction. Right, now left foot. Right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. Wonderful. Good, keep watching this ball. Okay, good, terrific, terrific. Okay, now you folks out there that are watching this, see that Linda has got that club. She's holding it right on line and moving the club with her body. Linda hasn't played a lot of golf, but we see a lot of progress here from where she was earlier today. Fine, great. I don't want you to do anything with these arms and hands. It's all got to be with the feet.
Okay.
So let's go for it again. Now start from the top, go through the whole procedure. And you folks watching at home, it's very important that every time you paint by numbers, you extend the club, left hand down, right hand over, softly on top of that left thumb, lower from the shoulders, sit down, turn the chin to the right. You see, we have plenty of time before the shot to do things in slow motion. Wonderful. Now, did you see him? Did you see him get that sense of the knee flex? Wonderful. Okay, just right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot. Okay, that's what I want. This time, give me a little more feet, a little more action with the feet, and the ball will go a little bit further. Much better. Terrific. A lot of people think that since this is a short shot, it's probably the easiest shot. It's actually the toughest because we can't camouflage anything. When we make one of these big old swingy jobbers here, we can put in a lot of extra moves and a lot of high-speed camouflage and try to get away with a few things. But this is pure stuff. Now, what we have in you is typical of players over 25. When you get up to 26, 27 years of age, what happens is you're in great physical shape. I don't know what your workout program is, but it's showing you're in great shape. But you have lost a little range of motion. So your particular objective in doing this exercise, in the case of Linda Jenner, what we have is somebody who's a great athlete, in great shape, very flexible, but not quite strong enough yet in the left hand to control the club. You've got excellent strength, but you need to work on the same exercise. See, this exercise is a cure-all. This is about forgetting about the intellectual part of the game and just doing it. The more you do this exercise, the less you need to know to hit the ball well. But your objective in doing it is to get more and more range of motion. The hand is actually kind of on top of the club, comes in, over, and down. In, over, and down. It's already formed. And it's kind of formed with what I call the short thumb grip. So take it off again. And we want to just get this short thumb grip and bring it in, over. There you go. Okay, now that'll give you a good secure hold in the last three fingers. All right, now extend that left arm right out in front of you and get a more moderate angle here. We don't want too steep an angle or you'd be kneeling to hit the shot. Check your alignment, your eyes, the space between the tendons and the shaft. I think you're in good shape. And now to bring that right hand just down those middle two fingers, but get them real low down in here in the fingers. We don't want to get up. There you go.
Okay.
And just a little pressure here. So the pressure's here in the last three fingers and the middle two fingers here. Now this right hand just relaxes over and fits naturally over the thumb.
Okay.
There's no pressure here. The pressure is only in these middle two fingers and these last three.
All right.
Okay, now you've got a great set of hands to play the game, so if you just do this and remember that this is what you're doing, and you know the more pressure you get under, the lighter you grip it with your right hand. That's the secret. So right here and right here. Now extend that right out, maintain that angle, turn around, and lower that club from the shoulders. Now sit down, flex the knees. What a beautiful grip. Now you've made a very interesting point. We've got the right hand to the left of center. What that's done is it's given us two left hands. Remember we discussed earlier that the force comes from the pulling action.
Right.
So if we get both of those hands and turn them into left hands, we got two hands pulling that club. And we got no hands flipping that club. Al brought excellent flexibility and a good golf background to the practice tee today. What we worked on was his grip and starting position, and the results are evident. Al's remaining challenge is to practice the motor move to build up the strength in his left hand so that he can control the club better at the top of the swing. Because Al has now started from the proper position, his body is very active. He loses the club a little at the top, but the great move with the body brings it back together. As we contrast Al's swing with mine, we'll see they're identical until we get to the top. When Al brings that club under better control, he's going to be a top player. You hit it any better than that, you're going to do the next show. That's terrific.
Never done that good before.
That's
amazing.
Terrific. Hey, what did I get here? A piece of the set came off in my hand.
Thanks,
That's
Bob.
terrific. Before you venture out to the golf course, you'll want to become familiar with some of the terms of the game of golf. And the way we're going to educate you to those terms is show you a sample hole played with a variety of different results and use the terms that you'll hear every day when you go out to that golf course. Our model hole here is a par 5. That means that if you play it in 5 strokes, you've done darn well, as I said earlier. Now, the way par is established is by subtracting 2 putts from the total to determine how many shots it should take you to reach the green. So on this par 5 hole, if we allow 2 putts once we reach the green, that means that it should take us 3 strokes to reach the green if we're playing this in sort of a standard fashion. And that's what we've depicted here first. A drive to the middle of the fairway, a second shot in front of the green, a shot with perhaps a pitching wedge up on the green, and then 2 putts for a standard par 5. Once you start hanging out at golf courses, one of the terms you'll hear is scrambling. Scrambling means taking less than 2 putts to save a par on a hole. Now we're going to make a par 5 again, but we're going to do it with 1 putt. And that's a scrambling par 5. So we hit a drive to the middle of the fairway, a second shot up the fairway. But instead of hitting our 3rd shot onto the green to allow us 2 putts for par, we hit the 3rd shot into the sand trap, also known as a bunker. From the bunker, we play the ball onto the green, make 1 putt for a total of 5 strokes for par in this particular case. In golf, a bogey is not a fellow who played in Treasure Sierra Madre or Casablanca. A bogey is 1 over par. It's really not too shabby. And when you go out and start this game, if you make a lot of bogeys, you're going to be doing well. On this particular par 5 hole, a typical bogey would be a drive in the middle of the fairway, a second shot into the fairway bunker, a 3rd shot out of the bunker, a 4th shot on the green, and then 2 putts, our standard number of putts, for a total of 6 strokes for a bogey on this par 5 hole. A double bogey is generally not too good, folks. It's 2 strokes over par. So in this case, a 7 on a par 5 hole. Let's examine it in a little more detail. Drive to the middle of the fairway, that's good. Second shot into that fairway bunker, not so good. Play the ball out of the bunker successfully, that's okay. But on that 4th shot, we missed the green. The 5th shot, we pitched the ball up on the green, perhaps with the pitching wedge. And then we 2-putt for a double bogey. Making a birdie on any hole is superb. That's 1 stroke less than par for that hole. The way it's usually accomplished is having only 1 putt on that green. So in this example, we have a drive to the middle of the fairway, a second shot just short of the green. We pitch the ball up onto the green, and bam, 1 putt for a birdie. Folks, when you start scoring some eagles, you're up there in rarefied air. You're flying with the eagles. Eagles are most common on par 5 holes because what you can do if you're a long hitter using that automatic golf method is get to the green in 2. And if you get to the green in 2 and then 1 putt, you've got an eagle. And that's exactly what we've done in this example. A 2 on a par 5 or a hole-in-one on a par 4. That means if you have a hole-in-one on a par 3, you haven't got a double eagle. All you've got's an eagle. So most double eagles, like eagles, are scored on par 5. They happen maybe once in a golfer's career, and then only if that golfer's a long hitter. So here we have an example of that very rare double eagle. A drive in the middle of the fairway, a long drive, a second shot, right onto the green, right into the hole. A double eagle on this par 5 hole. Hitting the ball out of bounds carries one of the severest penalties in all of golf. It's known as the stroke and distance penalty. That means that if the golfer strikes the ball, it lands in the water, he has to go back to the tee, and he or she is hitting their third shot because they have lost both the stroke and the distance. In poker, we call it luck of the draw. In golf, we call it rub of the green. And what that means is that whatever happens, happens. So if you hit that ball towards the out of bounds, and by some miracle that ball comes back into play, you just go up there, it's like it was never out of bounds, you just play it from where it now lies. Rub of the green.